going on, everyone? I'm Steph Smalls, back with Smalls Talks Balls. I'm so excited tonight because I have my first ever female guest on my own show. How cool is this? I mean, this is so freaking awesome. This is a female in the community that I've admired from a distance for a while. You know, we're all a little stutter step for a little bit until we get a little comfortable around each other. This is Bree. Tell everyone how you're doing, where they can find you, what's going on.
I'm Bree. I am the host and creator of Sports Stilettos Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at yourhost_breezy. And you can also find me on Instagram at Sports Stilettos Podcast.
Oh, gosh. I'm so excited. This is great. I was telling, I was just on, we have another podcast with Dan Turner, who's at Champions Round with us. And I was saying, I haven't even come up on my anniversary of my first guest appearance, which was last October 15th. And for some reason, I never got on solo with another female. So this is awesome. This is literally has been on my bucket list. So I'm glad to have you on as my first female.
Yes.
We'll jump right into it. I won't keep you too long. It's Thursday Night Football. Before we get started into these mailbags, because there are really good questions. I'm impressed.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone that's made questions. You're an Eagles fan. I was telling you before, I went to college with Nick Foles. Let's talk about the NFC East. A little polarizing because, we got dragged through the mud all last season. NFC East, we have a better record, actually, than some other. We are not maybe as bad as everyone thinks. But what's your take kind of on the NFC East?
Well, I knew kind of during the offseason that it would probably be between the Eagles and the Cowboys to win the division. I feel like it usually comes down to either one of us. So with Dak coming back and them drafting, Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons, I know. I'm telling you, he's all over. Whenever it's someone's name that's everywhere, I always end up forgetting it.
Yeah. So with drafting him, like I knew it was going to be like a dogfight for the title this year, but the Eagles aren't doing as well as I thought they would. But the good thing is they are actually getting better week by week. So that's really all that you can ask for with a rookie head coach, technically a rookie quarterback, and like pretty much brand new everything. So I'm satisfied. I'm not excited, but I'm satisfied.
Right. And I think also and I'll say, going into this, I kind of, I saw the Giants and the Eagles, maybe not, on paper being necessarily as, I don't want to say respectable, but they were not as strong as compared to the Cowboys in Washington. But we know, being NFC East fans, no one's repeated winning, which knocks Washington out since 2004. They're not winning. It's not going to happen. Okay. And I think we've seen them kind of maybe not be as good as everyone was expecting. But I think something that I admire between, the Eagles and the Giants is they are every week you're seeing them slightly get better and slightly get better. And also, both of our teams have a lot of draft picks. So again, like not getting too excited, but happy about progress. And I think that that's all you can really expect from teams that are in this rebuild kind of era. And a unicorn has joined us. And I think there actually is, we just got a lot of even news about Pitts, right? Ridley won't be going to London with them. What's your take? I think this might be the week for Pitts.
Honestly, I hope it is because like he's been pretty irrelevant these first couple of weeks, and I think that that's very odd. But with Calvin Ridley not taking the trip, I think this really opens everything up for Kyle Pitts. So I'm a fan of him coming out of college. So I hope that he really gets it going. But you really just never know. You really
you don't.
know.
And Patterson has been very shocking to everyone. I don't know that anyone could really have predicted that. But let's get into these mailbag questions. First one at JK Bogan says, and this obviously relates to tonight's game: should I trade Chris Carson yesterday? Oh boy. And I don't have they decided if he's playing or not? I was so busy I didn't even get to check.
As far as I know, he is playing tonight.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Yes.
But
so are we trading Chris Carson?
I would say hold out one more week.
Yeah.
One more week. If he just doesn't get it done tonight, then yeah, he's got to go. He's got to
Yeah,
go.
and this is a big kind of prove it game for me as far as the Seahawks go. I don't need
Yeah,
them to win this game by any means,
I
but
do.
I was very hard on them, at the end of last season. I was very hard on them this offseason. They're kind of showing me exactly what I thought was going to happen. I think their defense is very weak. It's
Yeah,
just kind of when the helium starts coming out of a balloon and it's kind of slowly floating down. That's like exactly what's been happening over there. So
right.
for me, this is a huge, I need to see what they do before I'm totally moving on. In dynasty leagues, I was selling Metcalf at the end of the last season. I felt like his value was there then, and I just am not sure now. You have Wilson, and that's your focal point. I need to see a little bit more. I need you to build a little bit more of an identity, and I need that defense to not be ranked. I mean, they're bottom
Yeah,
barrel in
yeah.
pass defense. Any you name it, and they're just not performing. So this is a big game. You're at home. So I agree. I think people are jumping ship on players just slightly too soon. Like, chill, you can chill out. It's fine. Like, you can wait a little bit longer.
Right.
We'll move on to the next one. This is one that you will be, as an Eagles fan, kind of relates to you. So at Fantasy Ladder says, what are we supposed to do with Miles Sanders, Gainwell surging, and Sanders usage, and the emoji for like stocks going down?
Okay. So I actually addressed this in my podcast that I dropped this morning for their game against the Panthers on Sunday.
Yeah.
I need, as much as us fans want to know what's going on with Miles Sanders, there is an extra game this season. So it kind of makes sense that his production is a little bit lower than what we're used to right now. And they're running a lot of things through the rookie in Kenny G because you want a very healthy Miles Sanders towards the end of the season when you have to start kicking people where it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather have a healthy Miles Sanders in December, like November, December, than to have him get run into the ground in September and October.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. And I think another thing that people forget about too, it's really easy to, you see these names like Miles Sanders, like, yes, Miles Sanders, like, you're so excited about it, but you're forgetting there's a little bit more to it, right? This is Jalen Hurts. He played last season, correct me, 4 games last season.
yes,
He's coming on as the main guy. You're also taking over for Wentz. There was that whatever occurred, you kind of cleaned house. It's a very young coaching staff, probably the youngest in the entire league.
yeah,
There's changes. You're bringing on Devontae Smith. This offense, and I keep joking, people that listen to my podcast know, like, I keep joking. There's a couple teams that just kind of have to, they're having not an identity crisis, but they need to define the identity of the offense. And I think that's partly Philly. I think that the weapons are there. It's hard with a mobile quarterback sometimes to figure out how do you add in the other pieces and make it all work. So I think Jalen Hurts is doing a phenomenal job, and I think that you're going to see this team continue to get better. I think that both of these options, especially for Dicey, I think Gainwell, though, I will admit he was one of the rookies that I was excited about. But
mhm,
right now might be the time in your dynasty leagues to go snag him, save him for a rainy day. You might see
right,
Sanders, like you're saying, towards the end of the season, which people forget about. You win fantasy at the end of the season. I
yeah,
don't care what's going on
exactly,
right now. Y'all jumping ship, but
exactly.
you're going to end up winning if you keep Miles Sanders and he ends up playing a part, because a lot can change. There's so much football left. We'll
Right.
move on to the next one. So at I Run Me Ran, which is funny. Thoughts on Jalen Smith and Gilmore, which was the hot news this week on top of Josh Gordon.
I'm really upset because we're playing the Panthers on Sunday. So I am like, I wish they could have just waited one more week so we could get past the Panthers. But I mean, Stephon Gilmore is a hell of a player. They got him
Mm-hmm.
for a 6th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, which is something that the Eagles could have done because they traded a 4th round pick for Gardner Minshew, who doesn't even dress. So
Yeah,
it's like you could have helped out your defense just a little bit with a 6th round pick.
right.
Um, but I think he's going to be great in Carolina. Carolina's defense is incredible, and adding
Yeah.
him as another piece is it's scary. It's very
Yeah, and
scary to
it
hold.
is. And I think that Carolina is one of those teams, and there always is one sneaky team. They move in silence. Everyone jokes around. We kind of ignore them in the off season. Oh no, it's not. And especially I think with Sam Darnold over there, everyone was kind of like taking it as a joke,
Right.
sort of the way they do with the Giants. Daniel Jones not perform, but when all of a sudden it's like, hold on, when did you quietly get good, and why did you what is this team? You guys have built a beautiful roster, and they continue to do it. I mean, like, they're
Right.
making the moves, and it's actually very impressive what they've been able to build over there. And if they can pull it together, and CMC stays healthy, this is a
Mhm.
team to very much watch out for, and they already are. I mean, Sam Darnold is on the top of his game. He's out of Gase. I mean, like, he was
Yeah.
leading, if he's not still leading the league in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's
He
in the
has
top
5 right
10.
now, if I'm
He
not
finished
mistaken.
what? I think he's like top 6 right now in fantasy quarterbacks. Like, we're talking about a guy that was bottom barrel. People were laughing at him saying he's seeing ghosts, and now he's
Yep.
doing his thing. I wonder, like, no offense to all my men watching, but sometimes is it like a testosterone thing where he's kind of like high on, the chips on his shoulder? But I'm impressed with what he's doing at the end of the day. And I think that
Right.
what Carolina is doing is they're building a system the right way. They know what their holes are, and they've gone through the motions. So I'm really impressed. I'm actually very excited to see what this team does. And I'm sorry you have to play them. I'm pretty sure we see them in a couple weeks anyway. So I'm not excited either, not thrilled about it, but I'm happy for Darnold. It's always nice to see someone be able to recover the way that he is.
Right.
And then this is a good one. So I know you know him at V_Groove. I mess it up every time he sends in questions. He wanted to say, can you and BZ talk about bets too on the show? So we won't go into it because I know you and I we could have a whole nother show talking about
Oh
bets.
yeah.
What are
Yes.
kind of like your games that you're eyeing, props you're eyeing, money lines what are you looking at this week that you have your eye on?
So I do NFL and college football, and my
Nice.
go-to for college football is Coastal Carolina. They have won me a ton of money over the last like year and some change. So I'm going with them. I think when I did my bet, they were minus 19 and a half. I believe they're up to minus 20 and a half as of maybe
Oh,
2 or 3 hours ago. So I'm taking them whatever the
love it.
spread
So
is.
am I starting their court? I am in my first ever college football league. Look at this. I'm on a
Ooh,
show and I'm going to ask for advice myself. Should I start their quarterback, you think? I might
yes,
do it. I
yes,
think I should.
absolutely,
That's a good call. I've been switching them in
absolutely.
and out. So, okay, good to know. I do have Coastal Carolina. He's on my bench right now, but that's good to know. What about, tell me, NFL? Maybe let's talk. I don't know. Maybe not tonight. Maybe a different game because this will probably come out after tonight is out.
Okay, so tonight NFL, I like the Seahawks money line.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, I think I grabbed them at I want to say it was plus 200 or plus 240, something like that.
Nice.
Um, so I think that I think they're going to do what they need to do to beat the Rams. I don't know if the Rams have enough to get past the Seahawks. Like it's probably going to be a really close game. Um,
Yeah.
but I like the Seahawks money line tonight.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Love it. What's your here? And here I go again. What about Dallas Giants? What are you thinking there? I think they open -7.5, -7. I think it's -7.
I hope they tie. I don't want either
Yeah,
one to
I
win.
know. It's so hard
um,
being an NFC East fan too. It's like we're in
yeah,
this crappy position where it's like every little win counts, and you're like,
yeah.
okay, when you guys play each other, it's like I need neither of you to win. Like I can't,
Right.
neither of you can win. So figure it out at
Yeah,
this point.
just both everybody loses, okay? We're not even gonna deem this as a winning game.
All
But if
right, we'll go.
but if
We'll
I
move
did
on
have
to
to
another
choose,
division. Stop talking about ours. Which so this is also from V_Grove. Which division is tougher right now, the AFC North or the NFC West?
ooh,
That's hard, right? I think I might go West on this one. but it's very difficult. I think I'm
Yeah.
leaning West because I really think, we haven't seen Lance enough. If Lance can really get them going, I consider the Seahawks the weakest, probably. With Lance in the equation, functionally, like we're really doing something, we're cooking with gas, and we're seeing them, be the Shanahan system that they can be.
Mhm.
I see the Seahawks as the weakest link here, and I think that these three are gonna butt heads. I mean, we're gonna see LA again, another prove it game kind of, but Cardinals look good. They look hot. They're
Yes.
with it. I really love what's going on over there. So I like the NFC West. I think they're gonna really battle it out. And listen, coming from an NFC East fan, I want nothing to do with that. I'm so glad.
No, honestly, I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that the Cardinals are. I think that they're a problem. They are a problem this year, and being the only undefeated team right now, it's really in their hands to keep it going.
Yeah.
So they play the 49ers this week, right?
Yes, they do. Probably. Hopefully. If not, we got it wrong, but it's fine.
Yeah.
With the AFC North, you look at the AFC North though, right? And I can find a flaw with all these teams. It's like you look at the Steelers and it's like Big Ben, what's going on? And then you take away Big Ben, the O-line, then we have a little bit of issue. Other than that, great. But
Right.
Big Ben has shown that again, wish he took a knee last year. I think that this is not going to go over well. We kind of saw this in a happier fashion with Breeze when he started
Yeah.
losing some arm strength. At least he kind of got through the season. They were in a really good spot. And then it just got sad and we were like, oh, Breeze is retiring, sort of thing. And
Right.
then, the Browns probably, I think they have the leg up there. They have probably the most well-rounded roster. They're
Right.
very well coached. I mean, you watched them play the Vikings, and I actually think the Browns did not play well for them.
Right.
And I think that they stand a very good chance. The Ravens, it sucks because they had those injuries, and I would love to see what this Ravens team could be if they didn't get injured. And then you look at Cincy, and if they're an interesting team. This is a prove it week for me playing the Packers. I actually am going to take Cincy. I think that they,
Ooh.
they're getting Jesse Bates back. I like that secondary. It's the first time they've all kind of played together.
Right.
And I think Joe Burrow is really coming into his own as a leader. So we'll see what they can do over there. But I think I'm going to go NFC West on this one. It's a tougher competition there. Whereas
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, we're going to see that AFC North, it's going to finish and be like, oh, duh. And
Right.
this is not going to be an duh situation. I
Yeah.
think they will
Yeah.
fight it through. Every win counts. Let's see. We got a few more. One more. So at Eagle Dan FF, is Darnell Mooney now a better option than Allen Robinson?
Ooh.
Fields likes him though. Here's the thing. This is one of those
That's a
situations.
hard one.
I know. And I'm not ready to give up on Allen Robinson. I think that yes, everyone's panicking.
Yeah.
I'm panicking as well. But also you had to know going into this that they said Dalton is the starter. Period. Like it was
Right.
very
Yeah.
clear, very obvious that is what they intended on doing. So I didn't think we would even see Fields this early. So if my guess would be if you're drafting one of these guys, your expectations should have been that they may not be functional until week 6, week 7, because you don't know when Fields is coming in.
Right.
I'm surprised that Nagy even was able to do that. I'm probably going to lean Mooney. I think that Mooney right now, unfortunately for Allen Robinson, this is not on a talent level. I think that Mooney might be a little more electric, and it seems like Fields is favoring him. And I know that last week, his performance was great, and I want to see what they do this next week. But again, like this is one of those situations. Yes, I'm starting Mooney, but I'm not just getting rid of Robinson
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
again, it might be later on that you see him and you're gonna regret sending him off.
Exactly. Yeah. And I honestly had Allen Robinson in my league last year, and he did good enough, which
Yeah.
it won me a couple of games, so there's no complaints there. But yeah, I feel like you should it's not on a talent level. Like it's just more of who
Yeah.
gets favored in what matchup week in and week out. So
Yeah.
I think that they should definitely keep
And
Allen
again, and
Robinson.
Justin Fields should start coming to his own. Hopefully Nagy will make the adjustments he needs to. And I think that should help in the long run. At the end of the day, Fields has the raw talent. Andy Dalton, when he first started out, fantastic. He's just not quite the same quarterback that he was. And we saw him last year in Dallas. Very serviceable, good guy, good quarterback. I mean, but this league needs to realize there's a difference between a great backup quarterback and a starting quarterback. And I think that's something that gets it's like a little blurry lines there.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, this next question, and then we'll wrap it up with one more. So at B Schwartz 319 asks, Darnold or Tannehill?
Darnold.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
there's
What is
no,
going
there's
on
no
with
question.
the damn Titans?
There's no question. I don't know what's going on in Tennessee. Like, I feel like they've been like really like up and down a little bit. Like, I trust Sam Darnold more than I trust Ryan Tannehill right now.
Yes, it's so crazy too. And I have to say, like, I will probably be swallowing my words on this one. And I was very high on Tannehill going into this year. I was very
Yeah.
high on AJ Brown, very high on Derrick Henry, which that's the only part that has proven me right, and very high on Julio Jones. And the reason why is I felt like we could preserve everyone's longevity. No one will get hurt. We can split the volume. Tannehill can do his thing. He's like, I mean, starting to put up numbers that are like, holy crap, Tannehill is a fantastic quarterback. He's been my cheat code in fantasy the past 2 years, and holy crap, really letting me down. I mean, finishing, I think last week through the 4 weeks, QB 19, not looking pretty. And another one, this is one where like there is no identity of this. All this offense is Derrick Henry, and Tannehill just looks sloppy. Like it's not, and that sucks to say because I love him. But yes, Darnold. I mean, Darnold is on fire. It would be very hard for me to tell you to ever sit Darnold, I think.
Yeah.
Unless something changes, because that offense looks good.
Right. I agree.
All right, last one here, and we'll wrap it up. Funny, it's an NFC East question. I did not plan this. At Josh Taylor, WFT. Can you tell what team it's at? How do you feel about Curtis Samuel's role moving forward? He said, P.S. I love you. I also love you, Josh. Washington's disappointing. I'll tell you, this is like, it's not that I was rooting for Washington, but I felt like they were so close. Like they just needed a like sign a rookie quarterback, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're right there. And then they came back this year. The defense doesn't look like exactly what it is. The offense doesn't look like it. You lose old man Fitz. What is going on? So Curtis, I feel like it's anyone's game. Like I like Curtis Samuel. I liked him moving in. He could easily come in here and end up being that electric player that you need.
Yeah, I agree. I was very high on Washington's defense as well, strictly because of Chase Young. Huge fan of him in college. I thought he did fantastic in his rookie year. I thought it would carry on to this year, and he's kind of been like,
he's been silent.
Yeah. And that's not, to me, that's not like a really good sign for a defensive player of his talent level in the second year. Like he should be improving, and he's just like, it's almost like he hit a plateau.
Right. I agree. It's crazy. And I think this will be a big week for them, because coming off the Giants, beating the Saints, right? And we saw them, Sean Payton's up to some crap over there with this Taysom Winston in and out. And he was driving me damn crazy on Sunday. I swear to God. It's like Winston's in, Taysom's at tight end. Then they switch the next play. I'm like, what's going on? Winston's on the sideline and Taysom. It was wild. But I think it'll be a big test for them because you have the Giants go in there, beat them in a phenomenal game. Can Washington answer to that? If the Saints beat them, I think we need to all maybe slow our roll on Washington. I think that there maybe is something else going on. I don't know what messed up the equilibrium because they looked fantastic. But I don't,
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, I don't really care.
Right. Yeah, me too.
All right. So I'll wrap it up here. What is your hot take for this weekend? Give me like one hot take.
Ooh. Hot take. I mean, I don't know if this is really like, let me think.
No one can define hot take for you anyways. People are always like, that's not a hot take. Shut up.
Yeah.
Is in my head. Are the Eagles gonna win? No.
I have my fingers crossed. Like, honestly, I'm staying away from that game. I'm not betting on it.
Yeah.
Like nothing. But I'm hoping that this is the game that just gets them over that hump. Like, I feel like it's time now. And what better team to win against than a team that's kind of on the same level as you?
Yeah.
You know? So
there's a lot of prove it games this week, especially as every week that we get closer and closer towards the end of the season, you kind of, every game that you match up against someone, it's a little bit more of a prove it game and there's a little bit more on the line. But I won't take up too much of your time. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited you're going to come back on, whether you like it or not. Let everyone know they can find you. Twitter, her podcast is great. I started listening to it very recently. Make sure you guys check it out, subscribe, follow, but let everyone know what you're working on, what's coming up, and what they can expect.
Well, first off, you can find me on Twitter, yourhost_breezy. You can find the show on Instagram as well, Sports and Stilettos Podcast. The show is on pretty much every podcasting platform. I just dropped a preview pod for Sunday's game, Eagles versus Panthers. So go check that one out. I'm also partnered with BetUS Sportsbook. They are offering 125% deposit bonus when you sign up using promo code Breezy. So sports bettors out there, check that out, sign up, take advantage of the free money. You might as well.
Yes.
And bet on Coastal Carolina tonight. They're gonna win. They're gonna blow this team out the water.
I love it. And now I know I can go to for some college football insight because I just got back into it. I haven't been into it since Foles was there. Kadeem Carey, that was probably the end of it for me. University of Arizona has disappointed me repeatedly. Who will not disappoint you? It's Champions Round. Be sure you guys hit subscribe, hit like, follow us. We're doing giveaways all the time. And I will catch you guys actually tomorrow recording another episode now that I'm settling in. Once I get out of Connecticut, I'm going to be pumping out tons of episodes. But thank you so much, Bree, for coming on. Thank you for being my first female guest. And everyone enjoy football this weekend. And we will catch you on the flip.
All right.